Previously on The Flashing Blade.
What?
Well, I just thought we've got a guest presenter if things go horribly wrong.
Who is that?
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
And, what does Brian do?
He waves.
Oh, hang on. What? I've been given a piece of paper. I think we've got a bit of a problem.
Why? Who is...
This gentleman is announced himself as Brian's agent and lawyer,
What?
and I've been served with a cease and desist.
The Flashing
order.
Blade podcast and or VidiProg are no longer able to use a certain artiste thing.
Yeah,
I think it's better without Brian.
you think so?
He's a hack. What the... Where the hell did he come
We'll have to
from?
talk about this, but I'm afraid I've just been served with legal proceedings.
Fade to black and we'll discuss it.
Okay.
I knew we shouldn't have done an extra bit at the end.
And now, this week's episode.
www.flashingbladepodcast.net. This is a VidiProg. Oh, hell. We're going to have to be very careful with this one. Okay, we're sort of under surveillance. Let's cue the titles and hope.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there. Welcome to the Flashing Bloke VidiProg. I'm Siobhan. Yeah. And with me is Dr. Sinister, who's over there.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sinister,
There.
and I'm afraid I have company.
That man's here again.
Yes, he's as Siobhan says, we're having to be very careful in what we say and do in this episode, because we've been told that one more infringement using our lapsed cast mate will
Former co-host.
Will what? Sorry.
Former co-host?
Former co-host, yes, will result in bailiffs coming and seizing the Flashing Blade.
Taking your eye patch away.
It's entirely possible.
That would be bad. You'd see that you actually got an eye underneath there.
I've got all sorts underneath here, including my sandwiches.
Surely wraps, they'd fit in better. No, anyway, okay. So, this time round, another quickie. Marvel! Hooray!
Hooray!
Two of them. First up, Wolverine. Old Man Logan.
Ooh.
Written by Mark Miller, who's a brilliant writer. And drawn by Steve McNiven. Get off it, Tango. This is something special. Again, they did, I think I mentioned Fantastic Four: The End.
Yes, you did.
Marvel went for a phase because superheroes stories just keep going. You know, they're always so open-ended. They thought they'd do a little series where you had the definitive ending to a particular hero. So this is the Wolverine one. The basic storyline is one day all the supervillains got together and got organised.
That rings a bell.
And all the superheroes got very severely lost.
Right.
They basically lost. And Wolverine, since then, 50 years previously, Wolverine has not popped his claws once. Refuses to fight, complete pacifist. The question is why? What the hell? They obviously broke him, and broke him really badly to do that to the Wolverine. And this is like a Mad Max world, if you like, but in America. If I can actually find the map, it's here somewhere. Bear with me. It's here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so the west coast of America is Hulkland,
Okay.
formerly the Abominations territory. The Midwest is the Kingdom of the Kingpin, which is formerly the domain of Magneto. The middle is actually fairly empty. Then you've got Mideast is Doom's Lair, Doctor Doom, and on the East Coast is the President's Quarter. And the President is someone. Okay, he's being very, very attentive, isn't he?
It's very hard to
It's
concentrate.
putting me off, to be honest with you.
Really hard to concentrate.
Yeah. Anyway, this is I would suggest possible adult reading material. It's not for kids. It's beautifully drawn, beautifully written, and frankly, it's a great story. It really is. Wolverine Old Man Logan, I just can't recommend it enough. Quite frankly, it's superb. The other book in this here, this one's a fun one. Marvel Origins, the 60s.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. There we go.
Yep.
Okay,
Is
so you
that
got Hulk.
Green Iron Man?
No, it's a Golden Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
Captain America, Spider-Man, Daredevil, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp. Doctor Strange and Thor aren't in this one because they'll be addressed in other issues. And it's the origin stories, the very first stories of each set of heroes. For example, you've got the very first Fantastic Four story. You've got the story of how the Avengers came together. You've got the first Iron Man story, which is fascinating to compare it to the first Iron Man movie, because they've basically taken his story and updated it. Obviously, the first Spider-Man story, which I think we discussed a few shows back. You've got two stories featuring Ant-Man. You've got the first one, which is a journey into tales of suspense, or journey into astonishing tales of something. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, here we go. It is Man in the Anthill, Tales to Astonish, where Henry Pym discovers his shrinking formula and goes back. He's presented as a bit odd, and in all fairness, that's quite apt for Hank Pym, because he has his problems. You're not going to fall, I'll push you instead. And then there's another story with Ant-Man and the Wasp's origin story. This is pertinent because Edgar Wright is doing an Ant-Man film. If it's Edgar Wright, the guy who did Spaced as well as the Cornetto trilogy.
Yes.
It could be quite good. An interesting curio, because obviously the writing and the art styles are very, very different to what you're used to seeing nowadays. So, an interesting curio. If you want to see where these came from, this is the book for it. Again, Hachette Press, and it's a great collection. They haven't sent me any of the other collection. I've been trying to get hold of them, but yes, great. Quite frankly, no, Brian, no, get him off, just stop it.
To fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
The 83rd Doctor was played by renowned sitcom actor Derek Deadman. He appeared in series 340 to 343 of the long-running British science fiction series Doctor Who. These series aired between the years 2336 and 2339 on BBC One. This Doctor was accompanied by his stunning blonde sidekick Millicent. Under the auspices of a radical new producer, Jeff Cambridge Smythe, who was more used to producing light entertainment programmes as opposed to science fiction drama, the show took a distinct turn for the worse, causing many fans to declare that the series was not as good as it had been in the past and ruined forever. This troubled era caused many Doctor Who fans to rename the series Doctor Hasn't a Clue. Equipped, as usual, with his trusty sonic hammer, the Doctor was an engaging figure, but alas, almost totally useless and utterly incompetent. This incarnation of the Doctor would often fail to spot things which were right in front of his eyes, and during his 4 years in the role he completely failed to thwart any alien invasions whatsoever. In fact, the 83rd Doctor's entire tenure saw him standing around making wisecracks and waiting for the live studio audiences to respond to jokey punchlines, whilst the aliens were able to implement their plans almost completely unmolested. One episode in particular consisted of a single monologue of topical asides by the Doctor, and the following episode saw him interviewing guests in a studio on Rigel 7. Within the series' mythology, this inactivity on the Doctor's part led to almost total universal domination by the Daleks, who actually awarded him a medal for services to the Dalek Empire, and who regularly invited him to parties. Indeed, Series 343, Deadman's last in the role, saw the Doctor ditch the TARDIS completely and move into a Seattle apartment which he shared with a Dalek, a Cybermat and a raggedy old sofa, with hilarious consequences. Deadman and Cambridge Smythe were assassinated in December 2339 by a cadre of aggrieved Doctor Who fans, leading to a reinvigorated series 2 years later.